I don't know why, but I got a great feeling about this series. And I love that we're starting it off on Ice and Chrome. We'll need to be thinking about, whoa, we are going to start this one off with a bang. Our Zerg player's already sending out an early drone. We're looking at a standard depot at the top of the ramp, but it's all about that drone right now. If you look up the word cunning in the dictionary, you will find Bly. So what is he up to? He's queuing minerals, so we could be looking at a proxy hatch. Is he going to hide it, or is he going to try to block the Terran natural? And did that drone remember to put on his snow booties? Well, I guess he doesn't need them if he can just hover over the snow. The SCV plants the racks. Terran is oblivious to what the Zerg has planned. It looks like he's going at the third. Yes, it's a hidden proxied hatch at the Terran third. Oh, I'm loving it. Somebody please get a hose and hook it up to that fire hydrant, because we're looking at some vintage Bly on fire!
Current world rank 36.
And it looks like he somehow got his proxy hatch down just 7 seconds behind the standard time. And his extractor pool's happening at the exact normal time. There's no delay there at all. But let me quickly tell you about our Russian Terran player. He's not exactly Mengst, but he is Arctur!
Current world rank 113.
Arctur needs to find out about what's coming like yesterday. Because I'm willing to bet an exploratory Reaper and a couple of Hellions are not gonna cut it. He sent out an SCV to check the Zerg's hatch timing at the Zerg Natural. But Bly's proxy's probably gonna be up and running before he gets that intel. It's a small thing, but building a low ground CC is not gonna help either. I'm starting to feel like Bly's just on some kind of predatorial hunt here. Here comes the Grey Geyser in all its glory. Arctur's SCV is going to see everything that's wrong with the world right here. How does he react? I think his Reaper just found the proxy. He knows. There's already a queen on the way. No lings, though. Bly's going straight to a roach warren. Okay, here's the Terran reaction. We've got a bunker on the high ground, and we're proceeding with the factory. There's no cancellation on the command center. It doesn't look like he wants to hold the low ground. I think he's going to try to finish building it and lift it off. Oh, there's a couple lings on the way for Bly. The Reaper's gotta be thinking, if you're proxying, you can't have too much at your main. But Bly is making a queen at home. The Reaper is gonna see that roach warren. Unfortunately, it's already done. The queen is gonna chase out that Reaper. The Reaper actually didn't force out any lings at home either. Bly's just making roaches at his proxy. The lings have halted the CC production, though the Marines are gonna get the first blood. Oh, Bly slow-marched his queen up. He kills the SCV. He stopped the CC from finishing. The Reaper has come back. He can surround that queen. Oh, excellent grenade. He forces the queen right into the path of the Marines. Arctur gets the queen snipe, but then he has to pull back once the roaches arrive. Immediately, they morph into Ravagers right at his doorstep. Arctur did manage to finish the command center after all, and he's bravely turning it into an orbital right on the low ground. He's also trying for a starport. Bly's Ravagers are here, and they're going to work, starting on a depot. Arctur not at risk for a supply block, not yet. He repositions his racks to make sure he's got that ramp blocked off. It's all about the repairing SCVs right now. He's got to keep his structures alive. Oh, the orbital completes, and it's going to escape. Though he doesn't plan to land it very far away. I'm not sure that's the spot he wants. Oh, Bly almost gets the bunker. He does not want to lose that bunker. The Cyclone is out now. Finally, the Ravagers have to worry about something. Oh, he's going to get another depot. Now we're supply blocked. Terran is not actually suffering economically right now. Even though he's penned in, his mules are keeping him in this. He can afford to be patient and get out that tank. He's got to save that racks, though. Bly is extending his creep, though. He's going to completely claim the Terran natural for his own. Arctur's going to start up a Banshee. That could be his key to busting out. Oh, Bly is being patient. He's actually droning up at his proxy. This might just be a contain. It's starting to feel like a Hoist Gracie sleeper hold. Why risk going up the Terran ramp when there's so many juicy targets in sight, like that command center? Bly's just got this network of overlords giving him sight on the high ground. Bly's not the only one on fire, so is that command center. He's got to save that. Oh! That was a lot of biles! Oh, Arctur's in trouble now. He's gonna be supply blocked for a good while now. He's gonna really need to make the most of that one Banshee he managed to get out. Banshees are a solid counter to Roach play. But 2 would be a lot better than 1. Arctur sends down some SCVs to screen for his attack. He gets a Ravager, but he's not breaking that contain. Bly's actually planted a spore right in the middle of the Terran Natural. Arctur's no longer supply blocked and he's got 2 tanks up. That's going to help him establish a perimeter. But I feel like it's going to be 10 years before he can clear out all that creep in his Natural. Well, I guess it's not like he's got a command center to put there anyway. He's starting Cloak. I don't love it because there's a spore there already. But maybe he wants to do a counter assault and he's hoping Bly doesn't have anything at home. The problem is, Bly kind of has spores there too. What I do like is the tanks. Yeah, they can get sniped by corrosive biles, but not before they do some serious splash damage of their own. The real problem is just that Bly's army is so much bigger at this point. Zerg's also leading in drone count at this point. He's now mining in more minerals than the Terran. Arctur continues to invest heavily in the Banshee, but he's gonna need to get some use out of them soon. Bly's bringing up queens to protect his army. He charges in for the biles. He's going after the tanks. Ooh. Or should I say the ash piles formerly known as tanks. Wow, Zerg's kill zone very much extends to the top of Terran's ramp. Arctur is forced to pull back way back. I think he's waiting for his 3rd Banshee to make his move. Hopefully that happens before the creep hits his mineral line. Oh, those 4 Marines are like, where did our walls go? I could have sworn we were in a bunker a second ago. It's like a bad comedy where the demolition crew suddenly removes the foundations of your home. Oh, look at this. Bly's gonna expand. That is patience. Bly really is like a constrictor snake. He's got all day to swallow his prey. He'll just slowly tighten those coils. And he's grabbing his lair as well. Arctur's going up to 4 Banshees. That sortie's gonna be his only hope. Zerg is ahead in every statistical category except for number of Banshees. And I'm starting to worry if this game goes on, Bly's gonna find a way to get ahead in that category too. Okay, Cloak is on. Let's make this count, boys. Though I do believe the Banshee avatar is female. Regardless of gender pronouns, they're going to work on the proxy. They get the first spore before it can finish. Can they shut down the second? Yes, they will. If it's going to be any kind of comeback, it's got to be right here, right now. Bly tucks his queen in next to the spore, so he's got vision. And he's making even more spores. He's just keeping them further back this time. Unfortunately, Bly's just got the money to respond to this. Oh, the cloak energy runs out. Arctur pulls back. That was unfortunately not impactful. And it occurs to me Arctur is winning in one statistical category after all. Resources lost. And as soon as his natural finishes, Bly immediately starts a spore there too. Bly's patience is just nasty. He's like, I could go for checkmate, but I'd much rather turn every single pawn into a queen. And you gotta give Arctur credit. He hasn't given up. He switched gears to building up his marine count and he's getting himself stim. Oh, this is only gonna work if Bly misses his transfusions. And he actually isn't transfusing, but the Banshees are pulling back anyway. Like that could have gone differently for both players. One of the less talked about resources in this game is physical space. And Arctur does not have a lot of it. Ah, here we go. He's gonna lift off his newly built CC and try to land it for a new base. Bly, though, has somewhat anticipated this maneuver. He's got a Ling covering that location. Arctur's gonna medevac drop some SCVs so he can start mining right away. Unfortunately, the CC can't land there. The Banshees will clean out that Ling, but there is no chance that Bly did not see that. He also saw the Banshees, so he knows he can't just run his Ravagers out there. He's gonna send up the Queens instead. That's a good call. They're bringing an Overseer with them. I don't think this is the fight that those Banshees want. Yeah, Bly's transfusing this time. They're just too badly outnumbered. Arctur's gotta hope that Bly overcommits to killing his new expansion. That'll give him a chance to run out. Oh yeah, the Ravagers are joining the kill. They smell blood. Arctur needs to bring his Marine tank down right now. Go, go, go. Yes, he is going. He stims. He's got to get himself in entrenched position right now. The tanks have to be sieged. Bly's caught on. He's rushing back. He sees the chance to crush the Terran army. But the tanks are sieged. But Bly doesn't care. He's just going to replant his spores right up the middle. Here he comes. Arctur has to hold. He cannot fall here. The Marines focusing down the Ravagers. The Biles are eliminating the tanks one by one. Oh, the Marines pull back. It's not looking good for the Terran. The Queens are transfusing the Ravagers. The Terran position is overrun. Zerg continues the contain. The Zerg army is now officially twice as large. Oh, Arctur's just gonna try again. It's just not his moment. He does not have the firepower to face the Zerg on creep right now. He figures it out pretty quick and goes back to defending his ramp. And he loads up a medevac. Bly's overlord saw it, but did Bly? There's 8 Marines in there. Perhaps they can do some damage where those Banshees failed. Oh, there's Roaches pulling back. Bly did see it. Oh, Bly is not feeling charitable. He's not going to give Arctur an inch here. These Marines are going to be a suicide squad. The Zerg is ready. The Zerg is waiting. The Terran is pulling back. The Terran is hitting GG. Bly wins with a very one-sided siege. Well, I know I've certainly got a lot to say about this one. First off, what I'd like to point...
Eliminating unnecessary caster blather. The game begins now.
Okay, fine. Game 2 it is. But don't think I won't sulk. I had some brilliant insights for our viewers, too. I'm seriously thinking about replacing the adjutant with a Max Headroom clone. You can get those on eBay, you know. OMG, is Bly gonna do it again? His real name is Alexei Roznov, but we know him as the guy who's getting cheese twice in a row. He is Arctur! I think maybe all the Zergs who died from double Rax rushes had their spirits brought back to life by an undead Ravager rush. This is how Zerg gets revenge. But Eternal Empire is a really weird map for this. The normal Terran third would be cliffed by Terran tanks, so you can't really use it. And the third base location that Bly's using is really quite far away. Well, I give you Zerg vengeance personified. I give you Bly on fire! Hold the phone, the spawning pool's just gone down before the extractor. And it's early, several seconds. This is different than game 1. Whatever it is, it's faster. Okay, there goes the extractor. Okay, I'm not sure exactly what we're seeing. It's a strange location, and it's a strange timing, and it's gonna have 2 gases. You gotta think that means we're still looking at Ravagers. Terran Rax is just about to complete. Are we looking at another Reaper expand out of our Terran player? I guess I'd really like to see what kind of adjustments Arctur's gonna make from game 1, because it sure didn't go well for him. He is indeed setting out that scout, and he's starting the Reaper. It's gonna be an expand. Any chance that SCV is gonna check the alternate third? Doesn't look like it. The Zerg spawning pool's already done. So's the hatch. And there's a roach warring. Oh man, this SCV needs to report back ASAP. I still think though that Bly's gonna have a lot more difficulty connecting creep this time. I don't think he's gonna be able to drop spores in his opponent's natural like he did in game 1. Okay, the Reaper's out, and surely he's gonna check the third. He does. He sees it. And this time he pulls back. He's not gonna give himself away by taking useless pot shots at the hatchery. Oh, and here comes a couple of lings. He's gonna ambush him. That is a good start for Arctur. Bly pulls back and denies him the first blood. His roach warren is just about done. Correction, it is done. Those roaches are already in production. Oh, and Arctur's gonna try to defend the low ground this time. I'm not sure I agree with that adjustment. The ramp was his one saving grace in game 1. Wait for it. Here they come. The Reaper sees it. He drops the grenade to try to delay it. Let us in the bunker. Let us in the bunker now. Finish the bunker. We gotta get inside. Oh, that thing finishes just in time. But unless he's got plans to repair it, it's just gonna get overwhelmed. There is a high ground bunker being made as well. The first Ravager's being made right in front of the bunker. But so far that bunker is holding. The SCVs have to dodge biles while repairing the bunker. Talk about hazardous working conditions. They probably want to put up some yellow caution tape. Maybe a little sign that says, acidic when wet. But the bunker is holding. I can't believe it. I thought it was a goner. Arctur's already starting his starport. But Bly's bringing the firepower now. Yeah, the SCVs have refused their assignment. They're going home. Now, can Arctur save his orbital this time? He's definitely going to want to land it deeper inside his base this time. And if it doesn't go in the red, he won't have to waste his SCVs on it this time. Yeah, Arctur's going to sack those depots. There's no way he can save them. The priority is the bunker and the racks. But his 6 Ravagers already, that's so much firepower. The orbital's officially saved, that's something. Yeah, a much safer landing spot. That's a good adjustment. Oh, Bly's coming up the ramp! This isn't a siege. This is a full-on rush. Bly's just gonna end this. He's not gonna give Arctur the courtesy of another 10-minute game. But the bunker's held and the Ravagers are dying. Will the bunker? No, the bunker will not hold. Oh my god, Arctur's only got a single Marine left. He's held this thing by the skin of his teeth. He's got a tank in production if he can just survive that long. Arctur upgrades all his SCVs into Marines and sends them out to attack. There's 13 kills already, but somehow he's holding the ramp. He just held that off with just 1 Marine. I wonder if Bly knows how broken Arctur actually is. Though the tank is here now. Now the starport's gonna form the wall. You don't see that every game. This is officially a thriller. Arctur's got 1 tank, 1 Marine, and he's holding. Except that Bly's about to roast his racks. Every time those Ravagers try to come in to shoot, the tank takes a shot at them. That Overlord's giving Bly way too much vision. He's coming right up. Bly wants the tank. He's gonna get it. Once again, Arctur's down to his final Marine. And he doesn't have a lot of SCVs either. But a Cyclone will spawn. And he's slicing through the Ravagers. Bly gets that last Marine. Oh, what a death animation on that Ravager. Mama had a baby and his head popped off. And somehow, Arctur saved his racks. It was down to its last 50 hit points. Bly's down to his last 2 roaches. He seems conflicted whether to try to transition or continue the push. It looks like he's gonna try. He's spawned a Ravager to join the cause. Oh, he's going after that damaged racks. Will that miraculous save be in vain? There's the liftoff for the save. A repair on it. That poor Rax has been to hell and back. There's 2 Cyclones now. There's a lot of firepower at the top of the ramp. And SCV saves the Rax again. This is like Flatliners or something. Nobody dies. Bly's coming up the ramp again. He just can't believe it. The Rax with 9 lives is burning again. Bly is focusing down the Cyclones. The SCVs are pulled. It's an SCV mob of self-defense. Even the mule's getting in on it. Not the face, not the face. And oh, another Ravager head pops off. A geyser of blood jets into the air. Oh, and the Rax died. I missed the Rax explosion. I'm so sorry. Whew. But Arctur has held. It looks like Bly is going to transition. He's making drones. Well, spoke too soon. He's got a couple of roaches still at it. I think he's faking it now. This is a soft contain. Oh, maybe not. He's making more roaches. He's getting ling speed. Bly must know he's ahead. He just can't see how to seal the deal. And that medevac now is really going to change Arctur's options. Looks like he's going to go Overlord hunting. Bly's actually got a pretty good supply cushion though. Too bad for Arctur. After getting supply blocked repeatedly in game 1, I'm sure he wants to return the favor. Oh yeah, he's like, I'm going to purge these Overlords out of my base. Did he just go 1 shot short? Yeah, I think that Overlord got away. This one is not. And he did manage to supply block Bly. But it won't be long. Bly's on it. He's already got his Overlords well into production. And the Cyclones roll in. So this is what you've done with the place. I like the decor. It's very modern Zerg. Quite minimalist, I might say. Bly's like, yeah, I don't stay here often. I mostly hang out in your base. I think I left my toothbrush there. I'll be coming back to get it. Arctur replants his natural. He is stabilizing. It's 2 bases to 2 bases. Oh, he's going to finish off that Overlord. The advantage is slipping away from the Zerg. And Arctur is building 2 Raxes, clearly in memory of his famous 9 lives Rax, which somehow lost its 9th life. Bly's gonna try to shut down that natural, but there is a Banshee out. And unlike last game, there's not a horde of queens, there's just the one. Bly forces the liftoff, and now he's gonna challenge the ramp. But once again, there's a lot of firepower up that ramp, and now it's coming down. Is Bly gonna get the orbital though? It's burning hard. They don't call him Bly on fire for nothing. He has a hate on for those Terran buildings. Arctur needs to repair every building and unit he has. But if you consider, just minutes ago he was down to his last Marine, he's got to be pretty happy with where he is now. Bly has not been that patient constrictor snake like he was in Game 1. He's been more like a viper, going for the quick strikes over and over. But now he's forced to be thinking about defense. He's building spores. He knows those Banshees are gonna come at him. And he is not yet ready to say, "Come at me, bro." I see that Arctur is using the old Medevac Cyclone Banshee combo. I feel like I see Terran doing that every game these days. Said no one ever. But he's making it work. Arctur is now on even workers with the Zerg for the first time in a long time. And with his mules, he's now pulling in more minerals than the Zerg. That is a bad sign for Bly. Oh, I like this though. Bly's moving up his spores to use them offensively. You gotta take advantage of the fact that they are units. They are not static defense. And speaking of static defense, Arctur is adding a bunker once again. And he's got his tank in a great high ground position to cover it. Bly's gonna try to come at Arctur another way this time. But if so, he's gonna have to run a gauntlet of tank splashes. Oh, he's bringing the biles! That bunker's never gonna get to grow up. He will never have his first day at bunker school or get to ride a bunker bike. Arctur doesn't care, he's just gonna drop 2 more. Apparently they're like Hydra heads. Well, that doesn't make any sense, because if it was a Hydra head, Bly would have cauterized it with the fiery acid he used to kill it. Fantasy gamers will know what I'm talking about. The rest of you can just roll your eyes at me. Arctur is sending out an SCV. He wants to get his first peek at what's going on with the Zerg. And he's going to find that Bly's actually attempting to start his natural. Arctur is going to look to see if he can shut it down. He's got his Medevac Cyclone Banshee combo on the way. The Lings are going to deal with that scout, but I'm not sure they know what the real threat is. But Bly will find out, because they're here. There is not a lot of defense at Bly's main. He's got the firepower to actually focus down that hatch. He supply blocks Bly. That's big. Bly's unable to spawn more units at home. He's going to have nothing but a spore in his main. Bly has to pull his army from his proxy and bring it home. Oh, talk about your last minute cancel. I think I actually saw the hatch form. Oh, there was a queen there, but not for long. Oh, Bly's Ravagers have got here fast. Great reaction. Stim is now done for the Terran. That's going to change the dynamic of this game. Bly's pulled back to defend, but all he's got is a spore and biles to deal with those Banshees. He can deal with those Cyclones though, and he gets one. Arctur does not want to lose those. Queen is almost here. Extractor falls, or rather blows apart. That's a big deal. Bly's only got 2 of them, remember. He's got nothing at his proxy. Speaking of proxy, Arctur's going to hit it with his bio. But while his attention is focused there, Bly's gonna clean up that Cyclone. If only those Lings could clean up those Banshees. Arctur's pulling back. He knows that Bly sent his army to the proxy. I'm really not sure what that Medevac is for anymore. It can't pick up or heal the Banshees. Bly's gonna take back that much needed gas, and he's gonna get himself a lair. And a ninja expand of sorts. I like this choice. He's building behind his proxy. He's gonna need that. Arctur's now ahead of supply and very much ahead on workers. Has swung to the Terran. Oh, he doesn't want to engage that spore. There's so many targets he could be hitting instead. Like that Evo trying to finish an upgrade. Or if he comes at it from the right angle, maybe even the Roach Warren. But Arctur wants to control the Zerg Roach count. And as a price, his Banshees are getting uber low. They've been a difference maker for him. In Game 1, they were just kind of sad. Oh, here we go. He's getting free hits on the spawning pool. Bly wants to find a way to get his queen count up. He's going to try to reposition one of his spores. But the next bio hit squad's on its way to the proxy. Oh, the queens are going to get just riddled with bullets. But they were the diversion. The trap snaps shut. The Lings hold the Marines in place and the Biles annihilate them. Could that get Bly back into this game? If so, he's going to have to do it without a spawning pool. And maybe without a Roach Warren. Those Banshees are putting in the work now. Bly's rebuilding that spawning pool, but I'm not sure he's picked the right base to rebuild it in. Ooh, Arctur's unsieging all 6 of his siege tanks. There's the salvage on the bunkers. Arctur has flipped a switch. I believe he's going on the offensive. Bly's done a great job of recarpeting the Terran side of the map. He's mostly chosen an eggplant purple with a touch of mauve. Oh, another extractor falls. Those Banshees are getting their kills and structures. Bly's going after the Terran third. Oh, I love this. He's tricking the siege tanks into blasting the SCVs for him. What a friendly fire disaster. Arctur killed like 12 of his own SCVs. But he might be getting vengeance. He's gonna get the proxy! Oh, that is some delayed gratification. Terran's been waiting about 14 minutes for that joy. Bly is really struggling to pull in gas. There is a rich gas geyser at his newest base. He might want to try tapping that. Bly's trying to rebuild that Roach Warren. The problem is those Banshees are still at large. Arctur's Bile is pushing out once again. The problem is there's not enough seats for everybody in those medevacs. That's +1/+1 bio, by the way, though. Zerg's just got the +1 carapace. And interestingly, he's going for the +2 carapace. No attack upgrades. Bly's got to do what he can to delay that third. He knows those tanks are there. But he's caught them unsieged. He's able to do some damage. And then he gets out. Oh, but the Roach Warren has fallen again. Though the Queen has gotten one of the Banshees finally. She's gonna get them both. Bly has finally evicted his perpetual house guests at his main. That has got to feel good. But he can't build roaches. He's going for Ling and Fester. He's gonna need some ace fungals to survive this next push. Terran knows he wants to hit him now before he can get his tech tree re-established. Arctur pushes back to what used to be the Zerg proxy. He's gonna find that infestation pit. So much for my idea of stashing tech somewhere other than his main. Arctur's like, this is for killing my racks 27 times. He's just gonna ignore those broodlings and follow the creep down to Bly's ninja expand. Infestors are here though. Bly needs to hit this perfectly. He doesn't have much else for units. The Lings pounce. The fungals go down. They're good. Sort of. The second shot kind of missed. There's bio left over. Bly is on the run. It's not Bly on fire. It's Bly on the run. Arctur's gunning down the infestors. All Bly has left is 2 Lings and 2 Queens, and he taps out. It's GG. It's an improbable comeback. That is a fantastic game of Starcraft. I paid for the whole seat, but I only needed the edge. We are gonna settle this with a game 3. But just before we do, if the adjutant doesn't cut me off, I want to show everybody who missed it the death animation for that Ravager. It is so sick. And by sick, I mean both cool and gross, as in both uses of the term, the old one and the new one. Check this out. First, the head pops off and shoots off to the side. Then it explodes, and then there's this after geyser of blood that jets up into the air. And what really gets me is the legs somehow keep on wiggling, and you can actually see the head off the cliff. What I want to know is what kind of delightfully sick puppy has the job of designing this stuff. He essentially has to come up with the grossest way for aliens to explode. How do I get that job? And what does that say about me? I also want to sneak in a real quick correction here. I kept referring to the place where Bly put his proxy as the Terran's alternate third. Well, I guess a Terran could in theory take that as their third base. I don't know if anybody's ever actually done that. I probably should have come up with a better name to describe that location. But you know what I meant. Now, Game 1 and Game 2 put together really show us a lot about how Terran defends the Roach Ravager rush. Or Roach Ravager contain, as it really was in Game 1. Even though Arctur goes on to win this with bio, the heart of the defense is really all about the mech. And here's what I want to mention. You may have heard me say in other games, questioning why Terran goes for Cyclones against Roaches, when the tank is, in my view, better. Hear me out on this. Both units cost 150 minerals. The Cyclone costs 100 gas instead of 125 like the tank. They both produce in 32 seconds, and they both cost 3 supply. So they're pretty close to the same in terms of what the outlay is. But the tank has bonus damage against armor, and a lot of it. Way better DPS against armor. And that's before we start talking about the power of splash damage. The Cyclone needs an upgrade to get damage against armored targets, and there's no way you're getting it in time in this scenario. That's why I like the tank. It's your roach killer. But pros almost universally get a Cyclone. Why is that? Because a roach rush is almost never just a roach rush anymore. The Ravagers play a huge part in it. And Ravagers have biles. And the biles annihilate the siege tanks when they're in siege mode and have no maneuverability. You gotta be able to dodge the biles, and for that you need the Cyclone. But there's more to it. The critical piece here is that the Zerg needs an Overlord spotting so it can see the high ground, assuming you're defending a ramp. The Cyclone can zone out the Overlord and shut down the vision. The ground shooting tank cannot. So ultimately, what you're looking for, in my view, is both the tank and the Cyclone. You need a Cyclone to survive, but as the push wears on, it's the tanks that will turn the tide. And that's what we saw from Arctur in Game 2. Well, I appreciate your patience, Adjutant, for letting me get that off my chest. But now it's time to head off to Game 3 and see how we settle this series. I can't wait to see how Bly's going to react to that.
Commencing suspenseful conclusion. The game begins now.
It's the rubber match. It's the decider. The previous games get wiped away, and it all comes down to this one single remaining game. This is DreamHack, people. Nobody's holding back. And nobody's setting out their drones in the first 10 seconds. This game's gonna be markedly different. He's an exciting new player on the scene, his first time at DreamHack. He is Arctur! And he's so good that it's not enough for a Zerg player to just get Bly. He needs to be Bly on fire! Well, dare I say it, are we going to have a standard game here? We're looking at a hatch first for our Zerg, standard timing. I like this thinking for Bly. He's the veteran here. The longer this game goes on, the more likely he is to win, in theory. Arctur's been trying to play a standard game all series. He's finally going to get his chance to show us what he does with it. And now that I'm all geared up for a long game on Pillars of Gold, watch it end in the first minute. And next is our extractor pool. Everybody in your places, please. There is something nice about watching a game with the proper choreography. So if you notice that Arctur makes his racks in a slightly different spot, I think the idea behind it is this lets him make his racks just a split second faster. Then if he needs to, he can always reposition it later. And now, as per the previous games, he's going to start the Reaper, he's going to get ready to make his CC, and he's going to send off that SCV Scout. The Scout's like totally grumbling. He's like, I don't even know why I'm going over there. There's not going to be a hatch there, guys, I'm telling you. Of course, this time, there will be. Do you think Terran can get HBO with that satellite dish? Because I'm missing a few episodes of Game of Thrones. So Bly's pool and his hatch are both going to complete. So this is our opportunity to see what he's going to do when he plays a standard game. Here comes the splish and the sploosh. And it's going to be 2 queens and 4 lings. How very Cyril-esque. The SCV's just kind of camped out there. He's too stunned to go home. He's like, I can't believe I actually saw a hatch. And the Reaper's like, I get to go to the other side of the map. Bly seems to be faking a third. He doesn't actually have the minerals yet. But Arctur should take the easy kill just the same. But no, he wants to do the Ling rotation dance. Let's see what the kid's got. He really hasn't done anything too special with his Reapers this series yet. Unfortunately for Arctur, Bly can rotate his Lings in his sleep. And his queens are just about to pop. He should really get that free drone before it's never mind. Bly has taken his third. What happened to the SCV who was supposed to be blocking that? Oh, he's gone home. Zergs have really become more brazen about taking their queens off creep these days. Just my opinion, but we seem to be seeing that more and more. And it's a classic Destiny Cloud Fist 1-1-1 build for the Terran, complete with a physics-defying reactor switch. Will we get that pair of Hellions? Yes, we will. Well, after those first 2 games in this opening, I almost feel like I can take a nap. Ling speed just about done. Time for the Reaper to go home. We do have a trio of Lings deep out onto the map. Oh, Arctur's going to try to take a peek into the main here. The Queen is there. He's going to confirm everything is as it seems. No super fast Roach Warrens today. But now he needs to get out of there. Now he's got no hit points, and those Lings are about to get super fast. All of a sudden they eat their Wheaties and they just go at that Reaper. He needs to find a jump point. Reapers have a speed of 5.25, but Speedlings have 6.58. They get him. That's the first blood. Meanwhile, one of Bly's Lings tries to sneak a peek inside the Terran base and gets burned for it. But clever, he kept 2 behind to sneak in after the Hellions left. But Arctur is even more clever still. He kept 2 Hellions back out of sight of the Overlord, just to bait those Lings inside. The Terran outfoxes the Fox. I love it. Bly's got to be getting a little bit nervous. I don't think he contemplated the possibility of losing this series. Meanwhile, the Queen is there to zone out the Hellions. Or not, they're going to get at the 3rd. But Bly saves his drone by turning it into a spore. Back at the Terran base, the Overlord's going to spot the Terran making Cloak and a Banshee. But was it for real? No, it was fake. He's switching to battlecruisers. Arctur's already hidden a fusion core on the south side of his base. I feel like we're just now seeing the strat he wanted to pull out in Game 1. Bly's making a lair. And roaches. He's finished his Roach Warren. Maybe we are going to see more Ravagers. Only this time with a much stronger economy behind it. The Hellion count's up to 6. And there is going to be an armory. Bly's going to sack a second Overlord, hoping to get another look. Make that 8 Hellions. We could be looking at mech here. More Lings rushing to the Terran base. I think he wants to test the defenses for his roaches. He's going to find an unfinished depot wall. Arctur suspects a Baneling bust. He's adding double bunkers. And it looks like he thought about adding an Evo. The Lings flare up the Lings burn up like kindling. And the battle cruiser's almost here. He's canceling the bunkers, or at least one of them. And he's feeling confident enough to start another command center. But here come the roaches. Bly has confirmed the absence of tanks. He's going to try for a door challenge. Not so sure he can get inside, but what he will do is flush out that battle cruiser. I don't think Bly believed the Banshees for a second. He never made spores. Roaches are definitely in retreat. They have no defense against that battle cruiser. And the Hellions intend to make them pay all the way home. And as soon as the roaches get upset that they're running away from inferior combatants, the battle cruiser makes them pay. Those Hellions are like that little jerk on the playground who has a really big friend. They're like talking all tough. And the poor roaches have no choice but to shut up and take it. Fortunately, roach speed is on the way. They could sure use it. The last 2 are down to their last shreds of hit points. One's left. 3 hit points. He's gonna escape and hide with 3 hit points. All his brothers are dead, but he had the lucky rabbit's foot. But his sisters are waiting to get vengeance on those Hellions. Clearly they got a little too far ahead of their battlecruiser buddy, who has actually left them in favor of taking a poke at the main. But there are 4 queens and a spore there. I don't see him getting too much done there. Maybe he can force out some transfusions. Bly's gone for a Spire. Maybe the battlecruiser forced that out. Oh, the Hellions are going to go for a run-by on the 3rd. Oh, there's a trio of roaches there for the block. This is starting to look like excellent defense for our Zerg player. There's that Spire, and we can see roach speed is finishing up. Back at the Terran Ranch, we can see the 3rd orbital is ready, Stim is almost done, and Arctur is steadily creating a tank count. Oh, that battlecruiser is going to have an opportunity to block the 4th. The drone is coming up. Does Arctur see it, or is the drone going to sneak in there? The BC sees it. He's redirecting. Oh, he gets it down. That drone got hit. I bet it was down to 3 hit points, just like that roach. Oh, Arctur's going to try to focus it down. The BC has the DPS to do that. Bly cancels it and restarts it. That costs some money. And Arctur's going to see if he can delay it even further. He keeps hitting it. But the queens have put him in the red. He needs to jump out of there. He does. But not before he gets a second cancellation on that hatch. Haha, Bly's getting revenge. He's pooping creep all over the Terran 3rd base location. He remembered Arctur tried this same move in Game 1. The Overlord is dead, but it'll still take time for the creep to recede. Meanwhile, Bly starts 1-1 with double Evos. Terran is also doing 1-1 with double eBays. Bly's upgrade timing is slightly behind that of the Terran, but that's not unusual in DBZ. Meanwhile, Zerg's getting pretty aggressive about expanding its creep into the center of the map, and Terran is pushing out. Not with a huge force. Oh, he's adding to it, and he's bringing his newly repaired battlecruiser. I take it back, this is a significant force. Oh, a hidden expansion to the top left. Bly is officially double expanding right now. Could that leave him vulnerable to the Terran assault? This is a stim timing. Arctur's finished the upgrade. If Arctur can get those siege tanks set, he's going to be in a great position. Bly doesn't see him. He's going to get in range of the 4th. He's sieging up. He's stimming at the queens. They were not there to defend. They were there to light creep tumors. Here come the roaches to defend. But the tanks are in place. Tanks and a battlecruiser create a very difficult kill zone for roaches. This time the 4th isn't cancelled. It's destroyed. Bly has a 3-roach counterattack going on. A Hellbat transformation takes place, and that should be enough to force him out. Arctur has now taken the lead on army and supply. Or at least he did until Bly just made a huge round of roaches. And he's also got mutas. They're a pretty good answer to Terran mech when you're in the pre-Thor stage. We're in the BT era, before Thors. That bio's not stimmed. The mutas are able to focus it down. Did the queens just force that battlecruiser to jump away? Or did the mutas force the battlecruiser to jump to it? Either way, that was a very necessary tactical jump for Arctur. Just as things were starting to look dark for Bly, he punched back. Both our players have very strong economies right now. They can take these hits. Oh, the mutas have a chance to knock out the combat shield upgrade right before it finishes. Oh, belay that, they gotta deal with Marines. Arctur's actually working on his 4th command center. The mutas may not be able to take on that battlecruiser and Marine force in a stand-up fight, but they sure can outmaneuver it. Bly's just ping-ponging back between the main and the 3rd. Though Arctur is getting organized now. He's got defenses set up at both base locations. The mutas are going to get pinned in there if they're not careful. Though, maybe he's happy if Arctur devotes too many of his units to that cause. It's letting him rebuild his 4th and drone up at his hidden expansion. The mutas are going to try to slip out in the night going between the 2 forces. Can they thread the needle? The Marines stim on them. Oh, a couple mutas are going to fall. But he's going to get the balance out. Sneaky, sneaky. And the 4th is back. Both sides are sporting the biggest armies they've ever had in this series. It's fitting that this is a game 3. Oh, there's a scan down on the hidden expansion. Arctur's spidey senses were tingling. He's figured it out. Bly's mutas have a chance to deny the Terran 4th. I'm not sure he sees it though. He might be looking to attack the natural instead. Oh, he sees it now. But he's after SCVs. Arctur is finishing off vehicle weapons too, while Bly looks to test out some of his banelings. He's finished his centrifugal hooks upgrade and he looks to roll them into the 3rd. But those basketballs are intercepted. Arctur's gonna shut that right down. This has been a great game so far. Both our players are punching away, but neither can land that telling blow. Meanwhile, they continue to have parallel supply, and that is a lot of banelings. I feel like there's a trademark that prevents me from commenting further. And it looks like Optimus Prime just commanded them to roll out. Ah, Bly was the first to max out. He's looking to trade. Arctur is looking to shut down his hidden expansion. Or should I say the expansion formerly known as hidden. Bly's diverted his main army to save it. That could put him out of position for Arctur's main force. Bly sees the risk. He doesn't overcommit. He's already pulling back most of his force. That is a terrific game sense. That poor 4th base looks to be the target yet again. Maybe this is revenge for Bly's repeated Rax brutality in Game 2. Okay, here we go. Old Bly's got a secondary attack. It's a Baneling run-by. Oh, the bunker's shutting it down. The remnants are going to get to the mineral line, but that could have been so much worse. Oh, it's still going, though. Bly's pulling back. He knows he's got some upgrades he wants to finish. That single battlecruiser has been a huge difference maker for Arctur. If he doesn't have his queens or mutas, Bly just can't deal with it. Ah, the secret weapon of the Zerg. cheap lings in inexplicable locations. The Zerg 4th is down again. The Marines come over and yell at it and tell it to stay down. Bly's been feeling the pain of being behind on upgrades, but he's gonna limit some of that impact once he gets ground carapace level 2. And even after losing that hatch, he's still got the bigger economy right now. The extra 20 workers are making a difference. This has been just a crazy match. Who's got this? Here we go! Bly's throwing all his banelings into it. Does he have it? Arctur's got to kite and split, but it's an emerald tsunami of destruction. Terran pulls back and runs out of space. He's got to pick his army up. Just get the battlecruiser. That is big. Arctur tries to drop in the main, but Bly is on him. If he picks up again, the mutas are going to be waiting. He does pick up. He's got no choice. Oh, there's nothing so satisfying as killing loaded medevacs. Oh, the endorphins in my head have just been released. Arctur, there's no good answer for him in this engagement, and his supply has been pummeled. What can he do to get back in this? He tries hanging little red cross symbols on the outside of his medevacs, but the mutas do not care. He has to drop his Marines again to fend off the mutas, but the lings are waiting for that. Arctur tries to reinforce, but that's just going to make the banquet better. He is getting decent trades here, and both players have banks to spend. But at the end of the day, Bly is going to squash that Terran army. Arctur has been officially routed. He's got to get back to his base to see if he can defend there. Bly's going to press it. He's committed to harrying him all the way back home. But he's also going for another baneling bust on that third. Arctur sees it. He's got the SCV pull. But this time, Zerg's able to collapse on him, on all sides. Arctur has to open his castle doors to let his own people in. Oh, big Widowmine hit. There's one on the ramp. He kills all the banelings and stops Zerg from getting inside. Well, for the moment. Just when you think Arctur's finished, he finds a way to come back. He has lost his third, though. That's a blow. And Bly can use the ramp at that position to make things difficult for the Terran. Arctur's going to try to force his way up his own ramp. It's not going to go well for him. It's a fake. He's pulling him back into the Widow Mines. Here comes another big hit. No, just an advanced ling. Bly doesn't have the detection to see the mines, but he doesn't care. He's just going to unleash destruction while he's here. Arctur's army's largely decimated. His supply is pretty much SCVs, and a trio of Widow Mines who are having a field day. Bly's got so many targets his head is spinning. But Arctur concedes! Bly takes the series! And I never once doubted Bly. Believe that, I've got a warp gate to sell you. There were times when it looked like we were going to see a major upset. What can I tell you here about this one? I think it's as simple to say that Bly's late game army control was just superior. When the big clash hits, it's Zerg that comes out on top. And that turns the tide of the game. And the series. It looks like a big splat, but Bly's got the right unit on the right unit every time. He's got the Lings on the Thor, the Banes on the Marines, the Ravager Biles on the tanks, and the Mutas on the battlecruiser. All in the blink of an eye. A very scary, terrifying blinking eye. I just want to take a quick second to thank all our new subscribers. It's you guys who reassure me I should keep making content, and I'm not just talking to myself in the void. So I really do appreciate the support. To continue your StarCraft journey, Nova advises you to click the video in the upper rectangle. But Kerrigan warns you to watch your 6 and click the video in the bottom rectangle. Or you can stimpack your StarCraft experience. Subscribe to Zugzwang StarCraft. Just hit the circle. From my base to yours, Zugzwang out.